Besides, if she still has all her teeth, she's no good to me anyway. Hey everybody, welcome to Gamers Gotta Whine. This is Scott Charboneau of the Dudes on Movies podcast. I am Johnny Vinyl. This is our logo. Boom! It might be the last time you see that logo because we're hoping in time for the next video that we have new graphics done. Hoping. Cross your fingers, everybody.
I thought we had legal trouble or something like that.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Cross your fingers for that one.
So, what we do on this show is break down a gaming controversy, give just a little bit of background on it, then we scour the internet for the wildest and craziest and dumbest comments we could find, read them to you, and make fun of them. And then finally at the end, we give our verdict on whether the whining is justified or whether it is not justified. And this week, before we get to this week, if you like that, subscribe to the channel and share this with your friends. I was just looking over the Facebook page, and I like two posts in a row. One was liked by a couple people, and one wasn't liked by anybody. And the one that was liked it said it was seen by about 1,000 more people than the other one. So
really,
yeah. So like our stuff and share it, please. It makes much more of a difference than even I realized. I
must have been in that post, right?
That's
why
totally,
everyone was liking it.
Totally.
Okay.
Facebook.com/co-oping toward hatred. Actually, it's cooping toward hatred in the URL because I can't put a hyphen there.
That's how I usually say it in public.
Cooping.
I'm cooping with you.
What the hell? What are we doing this week?
I got the breakdown.
Oh well.
Did you do the subject yet?
No, I have not. That's what I'm saying.
We're a little rusty, folks.
Yeah, it's been a little while. The PlayStation Neo /4.5/4K/ something else. Mm-hmm. What in the hell is
Matrix
going on?
Version.
Is it the PlayStation 5? No, it's not. It's a brand new thing, and everybody's confused, and so am I. Clear it up for me, Scotty.
Okay.
Break it down a little bit.
This is the breakdown. This is from Austin Walker at Giant Bomb.
This is straight from the source. These are the guys who broke this.
Yeah, they broke
story.
It.
So,
and then they wrote, the Neo will feature a higher clock speed than the original PS4, an improved GPU, and higher bandwidth on the memory. The documents we've received note that the hard disk drive in the Neo is the same as that in the original PS4, but it's not clear if that means in terms of capacity or connection speed.
Who knows?
Just buy a new one yourself, by the way. Starting in October, every PS4 game is required to ship with both a base mode, which will run on the currently available PS4, and a Neo mode for use on the new console.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. We've never seen something quite like this. We have seen, like, I remember the N64 expansion pack and stuff, but those are additions to the console.
Some of the older systems have done that with add-ons.
This is going to be a whole new console. You can't, it appears anyway.
Right, with significantly different hardware.
And the base PS4 is sticking around. They're not phasing it out, as I kind of wish they would if they're going to do this. And it's probably going to get a price cut, which actually might be the whole reason this is happening, so that they can sell the original PS4 for like $200, $250, something like that.
You know what? It just hit me though. Nintendo's been doing this with the 3DS and the DS and all that crap for a while.
Yeah, especially the new 3DS, which I'm going to talk about in my verdict. Actually,
there's like 14 different DSs out there.
Yeah. Also to note, they say right now there will be no Neo exclusive games. So every game you should still be able to play on your old PS4, just downgraded quite a bit. And they even say there will be no Neo exclusive features. I call a little bit of bullshit on that because higher frame rate is kind of a feature. So I'd say
did they list higher frame rate?
No.
I know they've listed resolution.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the 4K.
It will have higher frame rate and resolution.
But it also will be having more processing speed? I don't know.
I believe so. I don't get into a lot of that. Like, I don't understand most of that. Like techno mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think if the game runs better, that's kind of a feature in itself. I just think they mean there won't be like, hey, you can only play, I don't know, deathmatch if you have the Dio, which they wouldn't do, but, just throw something out there. Or even VR modes, just like features, is what they claim, though. I got some thoughts on the VR and how this integrates into this later. It's a big question mark right now whether there will be a official Sony trade-in program to trade in your old one and get this one for cheaper. I don't think it'll be, even if they do
Right.
it, which they probably won't do it at all, because, you know, you can always use
I doubt
GameStop or Best Buy or eBay or whatever. I mean, I don't know if Sony needs to do it.
I don't know. It depends how the public reacts to this.
So far,
Yeah.
from what I've seen, most of them are not happy.
Yeah.
And I got a question for you, and I have some thoughts on it myself. Why are they doing this?
They got me.
Yeah, it's really they're in first place by a large margin. I don't know why you'd want to shake things up right now. The NX is coming out. Is it possible? I mean, it's very possible they know more about the NX than we do. Is something got them worried about that? It shouldn't.
I don't think anyone's worried about Nintendo.
They shouldn't be.
They've branched off so far from the
Yeah.
pack that they're just doing their own thing and no one
Yeah.
even cares anymore.
I guess. My other thought was maybe this is something to do with VR, and what I mean by that is now you can use PlayStation VR with your existing PlayStation 4, but I'm thinking maybe it runs like shit.
Well, if you look at some of these required specs for like Oculus and stuff, you got to have a pretty high-end system, and the PS4 pretty outdated by modern computing standards. So
both consoles are. Yeah.
So that VR takes a lot of horsepower.
Yeah, I'd be real worried if I was planning on playing the VR on my regular PS4 right now.
I can see it being fine the first year maybe.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're going to have to upgrade to something else.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking of is Just Cause 3, and especially Just Cause 3, but also Fallout 4 really did not run that well on the consoles. So we're only about 2-3 years into the PS4 and Xbox One, and we're already seeing games that are just too strong for the console.
Right. They didn't run on mine at all.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't play them.
Well, that's why they didn't.
That's why. But
so maybe that's what they're thinking. I'm just trying to get in their mindset because I'm confused by this whole thing. I don't know why they would do this.
Yeah, it's odd. It's very odd.
But let's see what they think. It's reaction time.
Here we go.
Hit us with our first
This is
one.
my favorite part.
Oh, yes.
Okay. This is from Shabanga, comment on the article at The Verge. And I've made this comment on other Neo threads that this is kind of a stupid move, in my opinion. At that point, I'd rather be a PC gamer and able to choose myself which features I care more about. I have long been a console gamer, but if Sony and Microsoft start pulling this crap, my next will be a PC. Exclusives be damned.
Whoa, be damned.
He don't care.
I still think trying to keep up with PC will end up being more expensive than this. I think. And plus, PC is just a pain in the ass. Nothing ever... you can't just put something in and expect it to run. It pisses me off. I've been trying to play a few PC games recently, and it's
different strokes for different folks, though.
Yeah, some people like to be aggravated, I guess.
I like
that's what this
PC. I just don't have the time or patience to mess with my hardware, so that's why I stick to the console. Yeah. I got Eric Rodriguez, and this is on the Kind of Funny YouTube channel. He says, I hate this. After years, I try to reconnect with games and buy a PS4 with 1 terabyte, and now it's useless. Completely useless, actually.
That's a bit of a stretch, Eric. It's not useless. It might be...
did he read the article?
That was a video.
Did he watch the video? We're at a point now where people aren't even watching the video. This is terrible.
I think, and I'm going to try to put myself in his shoes a bit. I think he doesn't, and I wouldn't either, like the idea of having a second-rate experience compared to other people who spent the same amount of money as you did. They just did it later, or probably the same amount. I bought my PS4 for $400, and that's what it seems like the Neo's going to cost. Mm-hmm. And I bought mine earlier, and I don't know, that would kind of irk me a little bit. It does irk me a little bit. I can see that point. You know, you went out and bought something, and now there's essentially the same thing but better. You're getting punished for getting in early. And that's what happened with the 3DS. Yeah. And the whatever happened back then. They had the ambassador program because everybody got up in arms about it and had to give 20 free games that no one cared about to everybody. Is that what they did? Yeah, everyone. I got a ton of them. Dude, did you have the new 3DS? No, this was back 4 years ago. Oh, I don't remember, but no, yeah, they had a huge price drop by like $60, like 3 months after it launched, and everyone was pissed. Bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. 3 months after. Yeah, but I got like WarioWare or something for free, so yeah, great. You're up.
All right, so this one's pretty short and sweet. It's from Patsy Zaria from Inquisitor.com. Apparently, Sony learned nothing from Sega. And
Yes.
this goes... It's kind of not the same thing, but goes back to how Sega in the 90s just spread themselves so thin with hardware that it killed them.
I think she's talking about, what was that fucking thing you could put on top of
The
your
32X and the Sega CD, and then...
Well, the Sega CD was a different console.
No, you sat your Genesis on the CD.
Wouldn't it be
the Saturn was a new... No.
The
Sega CD,
Genesis on the CD?
Genesis went onto the CD.
What are you talking about?
Because it was like this long, and the Genesis took up this much room, and the CD drive was on the side that popped open. I've played it twice in my life.
I demand to see verification.
It is ridiculous. I swear, that's what it is.
All right.
But no, that's not the only reason Sega went under, but it was a big part of it, spreading themselves thin with hardware.
Because you bastards didn't buy the Dreamcast when you should have. It was awesome.
That was a great system.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, that's off topic, but...
Read that book, Game Over. It's very good. It goes into all that stuff.
A friend of mine the other day, just about how when the consoles adapted digital sales with Xbox Live Arcade and then PSN got in a little bit later, some of those Dreamcast franchises would have been perfect for that. Like, why aren't we getting new downloadable Crazy Taxi games and Choo Choo Rocket and Power Stone?
I'd pay money for Power Stone. That's for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Anyways, what do you got?
I got one last one. This is Andre Herod on IGN's YouTube. He says, "This is amazing, and I have 4K TV and want Neo ASAP. I love Sony. Getting the VR also. I'm that dad that's not biased and have X1 as well." So there you go.
That guy knows what he's talking about.
How can you argue with that?
You can't, because it's incoherent.
I swear to God, he says, "I'm that dad that's not biased."
So does he mean he is a dad? Or
I guess so. And he doesn't say biased with an ED. He's not biased.
Like, it sounds like BIOS.
Yes.
Like some kind of operating system thing.
I'm that dad. All right.
As a dad, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yes.
So,
well, you're not that dad.
I'm not
you're
that
a
dad at all.
Not that dad. That's not biased.
I don't want to be that dad.
It is verdict time, Scoot and Scotty.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you got for me?
My verdict here is I'm a little neutral on this. Is that okay with you?
No.
Okay.
I think you were neutral in the last video, too.
I am, but I'm leaning towards that it's okay to whine, if you want to go that. Keep whining, I don't care. But I'm just more concerned with how this might affect developers and things like that, and their costs and overhead. And if you're required to have 4K capabilities on a system that wasn't designed to put out 4K, and now you have to have two versions of the game on your disc. I don't know what entails with all that, but it can't cost you the same amount of money. It's going to cost you money. So that really bugs me. I don't know how it's going to affect the quality or the quantity of games we're going to be getting.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that.
So keep whining. Nobody wants this.
Except for that dad that's not biased. He wants it.
That guy sucks.
And he has X1 as well. I love Sony getting the VR also.
Well, he can get the X 1.5 when that comes out. So.
Yeah. Oh, boy, it's getting bad. Now, I actually think I read a thing, and again, I don't get into the tech of this stuff very much, so I could be totally wrong about this, but I read a thing, I believe, that said that it would play Blu-rays and DVDs with 4K output, but not games. I might be wrong about that.
What will? The new one?
Yeah, the Neo.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that, but I believe that's what I heard.
Couldn't they do some kind of firmware update on the original PS4 for that?
I don't know.
I don't know how this works, so I don't know.
We are not engineers. That might surprise you. I know you're looking at us right now and saying these guys definitely look like fucking engineers. They probably went to Harvard, graduated summa cum laude. That's probably what they're saying right now.
You're just biased, dude.
I'm that dad that's not biased.
Yes.
All right. I think the whining is, especially the skepticism right now, because, all right, we should say this is all, it all sounds legit to me, but technically it is still rumors. I believe it, but, you know, and we've been hearing about the lead up to this thing now for like 2 months, and this is the first time that the specs have been put out there in a organized manner. And so I believe it. But anyway, I think it's okay to be skeptical and to whine a little bit about this. Because if you were an early adapter of PS4, you're getting screwed here. There's really no two ways about it. A lot of people are comparing it to cell phones, upgrading your cell phones. I think that's kind of silly. I think you buy a console. Yeah.
Different.
You buy a console with a different expectation than you buy a cell phone. These things are supposed to last for quite a bit.
Well, when did PS4 come out? It's been 4 years?
I think 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Probably 3.
3. Let's say 3.
Okay.
We'll just call it 3.
We'll settle on 3. And you started to allude to this. I'll expand on it more. I'm worried about games suffering for this.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds ridiculous because we're talking about more power, but we're also talking about them having to make... They're already... most developers already have to make a PS4 version and an Xbox One version. And a PC version, too, if you go that route. And now we're talking about adding a fourth thing to it. And, of course, PC has a million different variations, so that's a whole nother can of worms. But anytime you talk about adding more things that your game has to be compatible with, it's more work and it's tougher, and you're going to have to make sacrifices in your game. Even with that extra power, I think it can be disastrous. Even if it's for the PS4 version. Like we saw Hyrule Warriors come out on both the new 3DS and the I guess old 3DS, we'll call it. And the old 3DS one is a disaster. It's garbage. It like most of the outlets I saw had to put out a separate review and give it a much lower score because it does not run. And this does make consoles more like PC, which some people think is a good thing. I don't really see how that can be. This just the past year we saw Mortal Kombat X, Arkham Knight, and even recently Dark Souls 3 have a lot of problems on PC. Mm-hmm. And now that we're talking about having different SKUs of consoles, I think that's, even though it's only 2 SKUs, which is a lot less than PC, still 2 is more than 1. I'm very sure that 2 is a higher number than 1.
I know that's correct.
I can say that with confidence. So you're just asking for more trouble. I also am... I'm going on too long, but this is an important point to me. This one's really is important. How do you show a game now? Like at E3 or even just do a preview. You're going to want to show the Neo version because it's going to look better, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a PS4, how am I going to see footage before release of how the game is going to run for me? I'm probably not going to anymore.
You won't.
Yeah, that really sucks. Now, if I got a PS4 and I want to buy a game day one, it's a total gamble.
Yeah.
That's horse shit. Because, I mean, they're not going to show both versions. They're not going to waste E3 time showing, hey, here's how it runs on Neo, and here's how it runs on our shitty old machine. They're not going to do that. And they don't want to do that, and I don't blame them. They want to show their games looking the best they can, but it's a little bit dishonest if you're not a Neo owner.
Right.
And you have no idea how that game's going to run for you. I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither. I think we are in agreement on this one. Keep whining.
I'm very curious how Microsoft's going to respond. Because
but they could put out 2 more versions.
Yeah.
That way, 3 is more than 2.
There's rumors that they're going to do the same thing, but their specific specs have not been leaked. So obviously they're not as far along as Sony is on this. So if this thing goes disastrous for Sony, does Microsoft back off and even double down? Like, what I would think would be very interesting, even though I don't know how exactly it would work because the Xbox One's already at $300. But if the day PlayStation announces the Neo, if Microsoft comes back with just a price cut on the Xbox One, capitalizing on people who are pissed at Sony,
could work
because a lot of people are going to get pissed. A lot of people are pissed at Sony.
It could work.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see them go at different routes. But they probably won't. They'll probably just do the same fucking thing.
Yep, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take the XL version, whichever one they come out with. The new XL. That's what I want. Yeah, either one.
Okay.
The new Xbox XL.
Right. Well, we have done quite a few of these Gamers Gotta Whine. If you want to keep watching, click on Scott's chest right now. I will put up...
Just pretend it's my nipple.
The last Gamers Gotta Whine right here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, which you should, we got more Gamers Gotta Whine. We also got a bunch of Let's Plays. And click over here on my chest. Over there or over here.
Be careful, though. Dude, you don't want to... You want to click in the wrong spot.
Click it hard. Harder.